On Friday, September 19th at Harrah's Hoosier Park, there's a big night of stakes races on the card. There are 9 races that are stakes out of the 13. It all starts at 5:30, and we have you covered here at DRF. If you check out the QR code on your screen, you can watch the entire card live, as well as get free PPs. You can watch this video if you want to keep watching it over and over again. We're going to discuss 4 of the races on the card. They start with race number 11, and it's a $40,000 guaranteed pick 4. There are $100,000 worth of guaranteed wagers on the card, so you want to start at the beginning of the night and bet all the way through to the end because they got you covered for sure. We're looking at race number 11. It's the Hoosier Park Pacing Derby for $179,000 and some change, Matt. And it's a really strong field, top to bottom.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, for the most part, we've seen a pretty wide open division here where nobody's taken control yet, and it's been a fun stakes season so far for the aged horses, and a lot of familiar faces here. Headlined by, I guess you could say, headlined by the Missile, maybe. Maximus Mickey, Little Rocket Man, Captain Luke, Coach Stephanos. I mean, you can go a lot of ways. Ken Hanover. So, yeah, I mean, very, very contentious race here, and I think you could look a lot of different directions here. It's hard to throw out anyone, completely.
When you think about it, almost, I would say, maybe you think 8 horses in this field can win this race?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, 8.5, considering the horse running from the second tier. But, yeah.
Can we I'm going to stop here for a second. Can we also agree that Captain Luke is not going to be the favorite in this race?
Who do you think is going to be the favorite in this race?
I would think Ken
Hanover. A very lukewarm favorite, obviously, and a very wide open morning line here, with the exception of 3 of them.
True, but don't you think Ken Hanover is the favorite in this field? I mean, I don't think he's going to be 4-5 in here, but doesn't he kind of look like, let's call him a 9-5 or a 2-1 favorite in this race?
Mean, he's coming off a qualifier, hasn't raced in over a month, and maybe a horse is better off in a real race than coming off a qualifier. It's, maybe some people lean that way. Yeah, listen, could he go off the favorite? Yeah, but I can make a case for By the Missile going off the favorite. I can't fault Captain Luke for being a 7-2 morning line. So that shows how wide open this race is, and it's interesting. At the long run at the first turn, we have some outside speed types, specifically Ruthless Hanover. You have to figure it'd be on the march early. How do you see this race developing, and how deep did you go?
I ended up going pretty deep in here. I'm going to, be a little shallow later. I think there's a lot of speed in here. I think Ken Hanover potentially could leave. Little Rocket Man likes to leave. Captain Luke, I think this is a prime spot to leave, especially with Jason Bartlett taking over the lines. We know he's usually pretty aggressive. And Ruthless Hanover, I think, has to leave. If for no other reason than to set it up for his stablemate Maximus Mickey, who's clearly not leaving in this spot, I would think. So to me, I like Ken Hanover on my ticket. I think he's definitely the horse to beat. If you'd give me 5-2 on him, I'd probably just bet him to win, quite frankly. By the Missile, the thing I like most about him is that if you notice his last big mile in the Canadian Pacing Derby in the Elim, he had 15 days off between those 15 days between the races. Now he has 13 again. He's not racing right back on short rest. I think that could help him out. And he was second here in the Hoosier and the Dan Patch here at Hoosier on August the 8th. Captain Luke, because I think he's going to show speed this week, and he showed when he does, he's competitive. And I use Maximus Mickey because I think there's a potential of a lot of early speed in the race, but you're going a little bit shallower than I am.
Yeah, I'm narrowing down to the 1 of the 5, By the Missile and Captain Luke. I did not use Ken Hanover. I've been a fan of Little Rocket Man. I did not use him because I guess he really hasn't stepped up enough in stakes company. By the Missile, we know he likes the Hoosier Park racing surface, a Breeders' Crown winner a couple seasons ago. And yeah, he's been hit or miss, but I just have a feeling he's on track for one of those hits in this race. And also Captain Luke is certainly 4 consecutive 4th place finishes, but never puts in a bad effort. And yeah, he's due for you could say he's overdue, and I agree with you that I think with Bartlett driving, he is going forward, and I think he's going to work out a very lively trip at somewhere around the 7-2 morning line. So yeah, I'm narrowing it down. I'm using the 1 and the 5. But like we mentioned, no heavy favorites in this race. I know we've had a lot of debates this year about morning lines and who's going to be favorite. So you're saying Ken Hanover favoritism. You like Ken Hanover. I'm, I don't know. By the missile, maybe slight favorite. Anyway,
Far,
1 and 5.
far be it from me to call you smart, but it really is kind of a smart decision in a race that seems wide open to just key in on a couple of horses. And if you're right, you're going to have good value the rest of the way, and you're not going to spend too much money here.
I agree, and I think I take that as a compliment, a rare
Yeah,
compliment from you.
it was meant as a compliment. We're going to move on to race number 12, and that's the $200,000 Kentucky Stallion Management Race. This is for the 2-year-old filly Pacers. This also starts at pick 3 if you happen to get knocked out of the pick 4 after the first leg. Another really nice race with a lot of horses that could potentially win here. Looking at the morning line, it's saying that the favorite is Some More Blue, and I can't really argue with that this time. The horse is 7 for 7, Matt.
Yeah, 7 for 7 lifetime, and majority of those wins coming at Hoosier Park. Second tier is not, I guess, the worst starting spot in the world. He should be able to get away in decent enough order. So I think he's you can almost say a must use here. But there are other interesting horses. I see towards the middle of the gate, Lady Victorious is another one of those fair type horses, and we've seen them have success. I know you're a fan of those types of horses.
Well, listen, that was West Wind's Yahtzee last time, right? Yeah, and that horse dropped 6 seconds coming in from this basically the same fares as this horse is coming in from. If this horse drops 6 seconds, isn't this horse going to be competitive? I mean, when you think about it, that horse raced Park the Mile and finished 3rd. That was a pretty big effort.
I certainly think for the same connections, the same barn also. Listen, I certainly think he could be competitive here, and these types have proven to be competitive. He does have a 56-4 mark on a fair track in a Michigan stakes race. So the speed, the raw speed is obviously there. I did not use him. I did use 3 horses. I used the 10 kind of by default. I like the 9. I'm sorry, excuse me. I like the 5. Maybe is my top choice. Whoop, perfect mid-pack starting post.
Let me stop you for a second. I also like the 5 too. And I just want to put my reasoning in first, and then you get the. Don't you feel like Whoop is every bit as good as Some More Blue in some ways? I mean, all the times Whoop has lost to Some More Blue has been just circumstance of Some More Blue getting a soft pace, and whether it's going to be because he's starting from the second tier or not. I mean, clearly there's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage for him this time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way of looking at it when comparing these 2 horses, because Whoop should obviously have a tactical advantage being on the gate this week, and maybe Some More Blue has been able to comfortably brush to the front most of his starts. It probably won't be a comfortable brush if that's what Marcus Miller tries, which is why this race becomes more wide open and not just a case of the undefeated horse. That's why I end up going 3 deep. I like Whoop, Shikari.
Why don't we take a look at something from
Shikari? I was going to say, I believe you're a fan of Shikari, so I'm wearing you on
I like Shikari, and this is a video. And watch Chris Page in the bike here. This is the last start. I mean, she's just completely shut down, like under a complete tight hold here. I mean, can a horse win easier than that? 1, and 2, right? Isn't she a value play here at 7 to 1?
Listen, anytime you can get Burke and Chris Page in the Midwest, on a at a potential price, you got to jump on it. It's the post is the problem, for obvious reasons, and that's why you're going to get a price on obviously a talented Ron Burke trainee from the first crop of Summer Cum Loud. I believe I'm saying that correctly. So she's going to be on my ticket as well. So I am going 3 deep. I like Whoop, Shikari, Somewhere Blue. And since you spent the first leg, are you narrowing it down here or what?
I also went 3 deep, but I didn't use Some More Blue. I figured this is a good opportunity to try and beat the horse, so I went 4, 5, and 9 using Lady Victorious. And we're going to move on to race number 13. That's the $200,000 Caesars Trotting Classic. And here we have an interesting situation because, a couple of these horses are coming out of the Yonkers International Trot. And I figured, why don't we start with showing that, because the two favorites are basically coming out of that race. And one of them is Periculum, who's the 9 horse in this field. And you're going to see never gets any room. The other one is on the lead, Lexus Cody. And I think you can make the case that if some of these other horses got free, maybe Lexus Cody would have lost.
Yeah, comparing those two horses, Periculum and Lexus Cody, it is like the tale of two trips. Yanni Chingai did a great job taking command into the first turn at a mile and a quarter race and be able to hold pressure at bay while raiding, I guess, the middle half or the middle three quarters. And yeah, if other horses, he was both lucky and good. And I remember even Ron Burke in the post race interview mentioning that it was just a perfect opportunity, a perfect spot. While others didn't get a good trip, Lexus Cody was able to get a good trip, and it just all kind of worked out. With that said, that's now 3 in a row and 2 stakes races in a row. And is this horse starting to separate himself from the rest of the pack in terms of top trotter? It's possible. I mean, definitely, certainly the now horse, and he's right back in to go another stakes race. And I certainly would not be surprised if he came back and won another race.
Yeah, listen, he's certainly the one to beat. He's probably, I would assume he's going to be the favorite in this spot. And then you have to start asking yourself, were you that impressed with the effort last time to think, hey, this horse is worth betting as the favorite? And that's where I decided, no. I felt like Hercule's back on a big track, and I'd rather take a shot with him. Scott Zerin always seems to find that right trip with this horse. And, and I ended up singing Periculum, though I will say, and maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment, but I kind of like Highland Kismet a little bit, at least to be on the ticket. And I know he breaks all the time, and he's the model of inconsistency. But the last time, if you look, he's been off quite some time. He hasn't raced in a month. And the last time he missed a month, he went to the Red Mile and popped off a 150 in 1 mile. And maybe this is just a horse that fires well fresh at this point, and might be worth a shot at it for a horse that's going to be a huge price.
Yeah, he's I mean, you're probably looking at 50 to 1 or 60 to 1 or something like that. And you could argue deservedly so, considering that his only win this year is just in an overnight race. But that was a 150 to 1 race. If you use him on your ticket, good luck to you, because that'll be huge. I did narrow it down. I used Periculum for the obvious reasons. And I think he's going to be the sneaky play here. He might be the favorite just based on everyone seeing that he was locked in the International Trot. And but people might overvalue that race. But his body of work has been solid. And I'm going with Lexus Cody also. Is just, the now horse has never been better. Long way and peaking now almost in his career at 7. So I'm going to use those two, Periculum and Lexus Cody. But if I had to key, you're keying Periculum. I was going to key Lexus Cody if I had to go, one way or the other.
Well, it's 2 ways to go. We're going to go on to race number 14. That's the $75,000 Madison County. And it's interesting. I went deeper early and was a little bit narrower late. Then you went the other way around here, because you're going to spread a little bit more in this race. If you happen to be out at this point, there's a $15,000 guaranteed high five in this final race, race number 14. For me, I kind of looked at 2 horses that stood out for me, and those are the 2 morning line favorites, at 5 to 2 and 2 to 1 in here. And I look back to that line for Spencer Hanover on August the 1st in the kindergarten at the Meadowlands. That was, the last time this horse was on a mile track, missed by just the neck, and 154 behind Magic Punk, who raced last week at Hoosier and finished, I believe, second to Apex, who's in the Mohawk Million this weekend. So that kind of shows me the competition level. Last time this horse was also against AI, who's also in the Mohawk Million up in Canada. So to me, I think this horse is probably better than the 0-7 record indicates.
Yeah, you know what? I won't disagree with anything you said. And it is Dexter Don Marcus Melander, $450,000 yearling. But with that said, yeah, he's 0-7 and banked, 57,000 lifetime. And I will agree. Obviously, he'd been racing the New York Sire Stakes circuit, and now you see, he's stretching out to a larger track that will benefit him. But for a horse that hasn't won a race yet, and is going to take, deservedly take money, not only on ability, but based on, barn and driver reputation. I ended up going 4 deep and grudgingly used him, but I also used 3 other horses. That's the 1, 3, and 4. The 4, Trace Tetrick, broke last week, last start. You say if he had won his prior 3 at Hoosier Park. If you say that's a fluke, then so be it. But these are 2-year-old trotters, so it's really not that fluky. I kind of like the one also is in the same boat, breaks kind of every other start, but I liked how he didn't break. And the Peter Houghton was a big price and actually came home 27, rallied nicely. If he could behave himself and get away somewhere in mid-pack and work out an easy trip, he wouldn't surprise me at all. And I also use the 3, Swan and All, who I think is a major speed player here. Third time on Lasix. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of 2-year-olds on Lasix, but he certainly improved dramatically from the last 3 starts. So, and he'll be forwardly placed. So I did go 4 deep, and you narrowed it down to who? The 6 and who else?
The 4 and the 6. I agree with you on San Patricio, who clearly has some big speed there, and if he just minds his manners, should be pretty good. Why don't we take a look at our tickets here? And Matt and I both went a little bit different way. Matt spending $24 on his ticket, no singles though.
Yeah, I mean, you singled Periculum in the 13th race, and I was going to single Lexus Cody, but I ended up hedging, I guess, and using both of them. I did go narrow in the first leg, and like you said, if I can get by in a wide open race where we don't even know who's going to be the favorite, kind of disagree on that. And then the last leg, I think, is a race. I think a lot of people are going to spread in the last leg if they can get that far. So for 50 cents is $24, and I believe you went a little cheaper route.
I did. I only went with a $12 ticket on my play, and as we said, I spread a lot early, but then I kind of narrowed it down late, and I just didn't feel comfortable, being thinner in the first leg. I just think it's way too wide open of a race, and I'd rather take my chances with Periculum because I know them. Even if they're bet evenly, the money's going to be basically split between the two, so it'll be like 40 to 45% of the money on each of them. So it's like I know I'm knocking out more than 50% of the people that are left if Periculum happens to win. So I think that's fine. That's Hoosier Park on September the 19th. They look at the $40,000 guaranteed pick 4, 14 races on the card. I told you 9 stakes races, millions of dollars on the line here. And Matt and I will be betting away. Hopefully you will as well. Good luck.